Perfecto, creo que todos hablamos español. Vamos a hacer esto un poquito bilingüe porque después lo vamos a compartir también con los chicos de Brasil. Entonces esto va a estar un poco Spanglish, pero siéntanse libres de mandar sus respuestas, sus preguntas, perdón, ya sea en inglés o en español, como ustedes quieran. Y Julia y Gerardo, ustedes contesten igual, español, inglés, Spanglish, como ustedes prefieran, está perfecto. Entonces me voy a switchar a inglés, pero igual, cualquier cosa,
Mhm.
luego me confundo y hablo Spanglish también, entonces ténganme un poquito de paciencia. So, hi again, everyone. Thank you so much for joining and for sharing a little bit of your afternoons with me. Today, two students are joining me, Julia from Peru and Gerardo from Mexico. I will give you guys some time to introduce yourselves. So we will have a very chill, very casual Q&A session. I have some questions prepared, like general questions, but if you guys have any questions that you would like to ask them, please feel free to do so in the chat. Or at the end of the session, we can have if we have time, we can do a little bit of a Q&A. So, perfect. Awesome. Oh, I see Juan. Perfecto. Okay, so we are going to start. So first of all, I'm going to ask Julia and Gerardo to introduce yourself to let the students know what are you studying, and everything. So we can start with you, Julia. Go on.
Great. Thank you. So, hello, everyone. My name is Julia. I am an incoming second year molecular and cellular biology with biotech student. I am doing obviously my undergrad, and I moved to Scotland in September of last year. So, I've been living in Scotland for 1 year, and I'm currently in Peru for the summer holidays. And yeah, I'm very excited to learn what you guys want to know about Scotland.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Now with you, Gerardo.
Thank you, Karla. Hello, everyone. My name is Gerardo. You can call me Jerry. My friends in Mexico and my UK friends call me that way. I used to be a lawyer in Mexico. I am now doing an MBA, finishing my MBA at the University of Glasgow at the business school. My plan is hopefully to stay around in Scotland for a couple of years. And yeah, I'm looking forward as well to hearing from you and answering your questions or any doubts you have regarding life in Scotland.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, guys, because I know, Jerry, that for you is midnight. So I
No,
really
no worries.
appreciate
No worries.
I
I
really
can take my
appreciate
Appreciate.
you being here. Awesome. Okay. So, as you know, in Glasgow, we have a very diverse student body. We have over 140 nationalities. So we have a little bit of everywhere in the world, including obviously countries across Latin America. So, guys, can you please tell us a bit about what was it like to move to Scotland and settle in here? We can start with you, Jerry, for this one.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, for me, it was quite easygoing. The university offers a lot of services for housing, for student accommodation. However, I ended up going after a private accommodation because I was coming with my partner here. So if that's not the case with you, I would definitely recommend going for student accommodation. It's easier. The leasing contract is very flexible, and basically you only have to pay your rent, and that's it. On my case, I had to research and look around for private accommodations, which was a bit complicated. Me being in Mexico and having calls with letting agents. And talking with them, and when it's a private accommodation, you have to prove, for example, give a deposit. I had to send a lot of emails, and the calls were at ungodly hours, maybe like this one but the other way around. But at the end of the day, it was pretty smooth. People are really willing to help you, and if you go after private accommodation, I would recommend emailing directly a letting agent at any letting agency in Glasgow, for example. Coming here, the city is very friendly and it's beautiful. It's easygoing. It's basically city center. It's a grid, like most Latin American countries. It's basically a grid. It has some suburbs, which I imagine you won't be uh, around them very much. And once you come in here, moving around is very easy. Public transportation, even though Scottish people complain a lot about it, public transportation is a beauty in here, at least compared to Mexico City. Uh, it's a beauty. The buses, the trains, the subway arrive on time. Uh, we have those type of transports, and you can always take a bike. When you are a student, you can actually sign up for free rides on bicycles, and it's very well connected. Like, to be honest, even with the public transport, I I always walk. My flat is a 30-minute walk from the university, and it's very safe. Depends on the zone, of course, but I think that the surroundings of the university are very safe, so you can basically walk anywhere. It's a very walkable city,
Yeah.
and yeah, I guess that's it regarding coming here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Julia, do you want to add anything about your experience?
Well, I had a different experience at Gerardo, obviously, because he went into private accommodation. I went into first year student halls. I was at Karen Cross, which is, I believe, the residence that is closest to uni, other than student apartments. It was definitely a different experience that I'm used to, especially living with people from so many countries. Um, but it was great. I loved it. Just as Carla said, the university has a very, very, very diverse student body. We had people like just in my hall, like from India, from Spain, from other Latin American countries. We had a guy from Guatemala. My roommate was from the States. And obviously, there's people like from across the United Kingdom. And even in your classes, you won't feel like you are like an outsider, because kind of like everyone is different. And I think that that's beautiful, and one of the things that I love the most about that. Obviously, there are a lot of culture shocks, a lot of differences, especially when coming from a tropical country. Things are different, but people are just like so kind, so helpful. um and the I think the heart of the people like in Glasgow is like amazing.
I
And
agree.
it reminds me of how people are here in Latin America. We are very fun, we love to party, we like to go out, we love to make jokes, we like to help each other. And I think that is also found in Scotland, as opposed to other parts in the UK where the culture is much more reserved. Scotland is very fun and very friendly.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. And that is something that I often share with future students is like, don't be so afraid of the cultural shock. Of course, there is some, and we will talk about that in a few minutes. But I've never felt more at home outside home than in Scotland. And it is something very weird because we are super far away, but we are very similar, like in the core. So it is very interesting.
Truly, I think like Scottish people are like the Latinos of Great Britain.
Yeah,
Definitely.
totally agree. Awesome.
If I may, quickly, if I may add on
Yeah, of
that,
course.
on those comments, I think, and I'm being completely honest, I didn't think I was gonna like Glasgow this much. When you are in, I imagine, like, I mean, that was my case in Mexico. I thought the UK was like, oh, London, like London is a good city, or Manchester, or Liverpool. For any of you who watch football, those are the big cities that sound right. Glasgow, I've heard it a little bit, but honestly, the people and the city is amazing. I think it's one of the hidden gems in Scotland. I think if Glasgow was a city that had sunny weather, I think it would be crowded with tourists. It may be even worse than Barcelona. Honest to God. Honest to God.
Yeah, I totally agree. The weather is interesting. It's not that bad, in my
Oh,
opinion.
I was expecting it to be worse when I first got here.
Me
It's
too.
pretty much like compared to some other places, it's so not terrible. I hear tales of like my friends that also study abroad in cities like, for example, Michigan in the States or Canada, where like there's so much snow. Here it rains very often, but it snows like one day a year, and the snow
And
is like
that's
Yeah,
it.
this deep, and that's it. It's
definitely.
so manageable, guys.
And the rain, as you said, like, yeah, it rains all the time, but it doesn't pour like in tropical countries. It's basically a drizzle, like a baby sneezing, like just
I love that.
tiny, tiny specks, honestly. So yeah, you don't have to be afraid of the weather at all.
No.
I don't think it's weird for me to say it as a Mexican, but I think it's template. It's mild.
Mm-hmm.
I I found it beautiful. I don't know. Yeah, for example, in Mexico, you have basically spring and summer, and that's it. It blew my mind, like actually seeing winter, like, oh, like everything's a bit crooked and cold, and the trees are dead. And then on spring, watching the flowers bloom. Then on summer, like I'm wearing a t-shirt. Like I didn't thought this was going to happen in Scotland. And you are there sweating and it's humid. And then on fall, you see the trees falling, the leaves falling, and everything's orange. I think that's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience, and yeah, it's not bad weather.
No, I totally agree. It's totally manageable. And the thing that it was more shocking for me than the weather was the daylight. Like in summer you have these very very long days when it's 10 p.m. and it's still sunny outside, and then on winter it is 4 p.m. and everything is dark. So that for me was it is a bigger shock than the weather itself.
It feels wrong.
It feels weird.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, so moving on to the next question is, did you feel supported by the university during your arrival?
I
You
think
can
yes,
yeah.
definitely. The university has like so many systems for support for international students because they admit so many of us, not only from Latin America, but like from the world. And there are a lot of different things that you see as a student that you've never seen before. I remember one of the first things that I got when I moved to my accommodation, I got a little book from Glasgow University, from the SRC, which is the Students Representative Council, which is the body that advocates for like the voices of students. And they put up this like tiny book about like Glasgow as a university, what the city is like, what certain laws are that might be different from your countries, what you need to be aware of when going out, what are some of the go-to spots. So I felt like there was a lot of guidance on what to do. Definitely, you will be getting a lot of emails when you enroll into
Yes.
university um, about all of the steps that you need to do. Like as soon as you get to uni, like set up your bank account, get your phone number, sign up with a GP. And once you do that, truly, you are set up for success at the university. Just like as a fun anecdote, when I first moved to the UK, it turns out that the bed sheets that I had bought in the UK, I was allergic to them. But thanks to like the
Mm.
university and like what they had told me to do, I was able to just like register for the GP at university and just get the medical care that I needed, which was obviously covered by the health insurance surcharge that you pay when you apply for your visa. So, like, do not worry. Even if like the worst thing happens to you, you will be fine.
That's great advice. Thank you so much.
Adding on what Julia said, uh, yeah, like basically, I had those same experiences, and I would add, for example, that me renting a private accommodation. For some reason, in the UK, or well, at least in Scotland, the property tax is not paid by the landlord, but by the tenants. that blew my mind, and that's Scotland wide. But if you are a student,
You don't
you
pay council tax.
you don't have to pay council tax, and that's actually good for for your landlord as well. So if you get into a private accommodation, if you get a private lease, the university helps you in getting the documentation to help you prove to the Glasgow City Council that you are a student and that you are exempt from the council tax. Besides all the things that Julia has previously said. But I think that was great help, and actually SRC as well on the Freshers Week, the
Yeah.
first to second week of September. Once you get in, they pull on a lot of activities so you can mix and mingle and integrate and get to know everything about the university. And they give you exactly like she said, like pamphlets of, this is the year we have planned, we have these concerts, these parties, you like football, you like mountaineering, like these are the clubs, come join us,
Yeah.
free events. Or what I love was around finals, or for now that I'm finishing my dissertation, SRC pulls up like distressing Monday, and you can go to the
Oh, I
library and
love
they give you a bag of goodies, and I don't know, they give you free candy, and sometimes they give you a picnic blanket, and oh, we're meeting at the park to have a picnic. Come distress with us. There's one amazing thing that my partner loves as well, which is sometimes they bring puppies, like baby dogs, puppies,
that. There are
to a
pets. Yes, I love
university.
that. They have
They
just
bring,
like an entire like a month full of like
yeah,
activities for you to let go of the stress of exams. I think I did a vlog once of one day where I did a lot of those activities. I went like mug painting, where I met like a lot of friends. I did arts and crafts. There's like a lot of free food events. Um,
Mhm.
it's great. It's great. I felt so supported, and I stress was so low.
yeah. Like the university cares a lot about its student population,
Yeah.
so much that they get puppies so you can go pet them and distress yourself,
Yes.
amongst a myriad of things you can do in the university.
Oh my God. I need to ask my manager to send me to those poppy weeks because I would definitely love that.
I know.
Um, Now, speaking about the events and everything, I sometimes get a lot of questions from students very worried about making friends in Glasgow. How do you find the experience of meeting new people and making friends?
I find it like it's not as hard as you think it's going to be. And the university does go out of its way to provide you with the opportunities that you need to make friends. For example, I remember I made friends with like the girls that are right now my best friends at uni, through what's it called? They had an offer holders online community on, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
Unibuddy, if I'm not mistaken. And that's where I met them. We created a group with all the people studying like biological sciences. I met them, and then right like the day I got to Scotland, we went out for like pizza with my mom and dad. So we all got to meet them, and then obviously you make friends with people that you sit next to in lectures. If you're in residence halls, that's also a great way to get to know people that are in like a similar point in academic life as you. Usually halls are split between undergrad and postgrad. So if you're a postgrad, you will be rooming with other postgrads. And if you are an undergrad, you will be living with other undergrads. And chances are you will maybe share a class or two with some of the people in your halls. And there's also every hall organizes like events. I remember mine did some craft events, some like game nights where everyone went down to the common room and we just had fun together and we got to know each other. There's also the opportunity to make friends through sports. Sports is huge. Clubs and societies, those are also very big. I know some groups that like there's like a club or society for basically anything. If you like football, you can go and like play football with your friends. If you like watching movies, there's like foreign film club or like bad movies club Like there's so
I
many.
love that one.
It's so funny. It's so funny. I've been dying to go to their meetings. And there's a like a space for you to like do basically anything you want. Another thing that I have um done that has helped me make friends is just like going to those de-stress events. That's where I met like fellow Latinos at there were like events targeted towards international students. There's also networking events for Latin American students. And there's also volunteering, especially if you are getting into your first year of undergrad. Chances are getting a job will be harder for you because people are looking, and especially for internships, people are looking for students in their second, third, or fourth year of studies. So volunteering is a great way to like start getting that experience and also make friends.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Jerry, what do you want to add to that?
Yeah. For me, like, yeah, it was a bit easy because in Mexico I did a lot of hiking, so I joined the mountaineering society. I was surprised by how welcoming and warm-hearted are Scottish people. They say that Mexicans and Latinos overall are heartwarming and welcoming, but I've never felt so welcome, honest to God, not even in Mexico, as I felt in Glasgow. People always say hi to you. People are so kind. If you go out to a party, if you go out to a pub by yourself, someone will say hi to you. Someone will get you a shot. Someone will ask you where you are from. And to be honest, there's not many Latin Americans in Scotland. It's not a common destination for us Latin Americans. So when you tell them, "Oh, I'm Peruvian, I'm Mexican, I'm Bolivian," their eyes sparkle and it's like, "No way, what are you doing here? I want to be your friend." And everybody wants to ask you about your life experience. What are you doing in here? And basically, every time I've been out, I meet someone new, honestly. And after that, that branches out. And as long as you are open minded and because these types of things, at least in my experience, that doesn't happen in Mexico. People are
Yeah.
not that friendly, or if they are, you are a bit wary of it. uh,
Yes.
just be open minded, and if someone invites you or talks to you, like, be open to it, and you'll meet a lot of friends. And it's a great city to explore on the nature part, sports side, pub part, party part, nightlife, etc. The university itself, you won't get bored. You won't get bored at all.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I remember we talked about this in my visit in December, and everyone was saying that they feel so welcomed in Glasgow. And actually, I always say in my presentations that Glasgow was voted the friendliest city in the world in 2022, if I'm not mistaken.
I
And it
think
is
so.
actually like so true. To be honest, I was like, come on, I'm Mexican. There's no way. And then I was
No
like,
way.
no, damn, they are super friendly and it is super fun to be around them and everyone is so nice. And yes, it is true. Latin Americans are very popular in Glasgow, so you guys be prepared because you will be so popular there. They as you said, Jerry, there are not a lot of us in Scotland, so they are very curious about our culture and everything, but not in a bad way, but in a curious and nice
Yeah.
way. So
Yeah,
I do love that as well.
yes,
And
that's great. Especially with people like I find people in Glasgow are they know stuff and they want to know more stuff. And since they're so friendly and since we are so friendly, we get along so well together, which kind of like gives you guys an advantage in like the making friends aspect over people from other countries where we are not as um like where we don't approach other people as often as we do and with smiles as big as we do. So just like relax, you will be fine and you will do great.
yes, awesome. Thank you so much. And just as a note, all of our holders should have received an email invitation to join the offer holders community. And this is what Julia was talking about. So you can join groups and start making friends and share tips and all that prior to your arrival. And as I mentioned as well, there are lots of clubs and societies. Like we have more than 300. So just check what your interests are. Like I checked them I think 2 weeks ago just to see what's new. And there is a Shrek one, Taylor Swift, Harry Potter, the bad movies one that I thought that it was so cool. There is a The Office one, sitcoms. Obviously there are academic ones as well that are really nice and you should check. And we also have Gusa, the sports association. And yeah, so there are a lot of things for you to do. Speaking about the clubs and societies, you said that you joined some. Is it hard to join a society? Is it very chill? How is the process like?
No, it's not hard at all. I joined 3 societies. One was the mountaineering club, which is it's not associated to USA, to the sports association, and basically, okay, you gotta know this. If you want to join any sports club, yoga, hockey, I don't know, the running club, etc., you have to pay like for
A gym
the
membership.
yeah, the yearly gym membership, either half time or the full membership, and then you pay your membership for the club itself. And depending on the aspirations and the club's finances, that fee depends, of course. Uh, then the other ones I joined were, since I'm doing a degree in business, I joined the consulting society. To be honest, I only went to one meeting, but that costed like £5. And the other one I joined, which is really fun, is the Latin American Society, which I encourage all of you to join.
Yes, I agree on that. I think that us as a culture in general, like Latin Americans, we just are very homesick sometimes. We are more, yeah, we tend to get more homesick than others. That's why we have the Latin American Society among other stuff. So in case you need anything or you are feeling a little bit lost or you just want to speak Spanish because that's sometimes it happens that is like, okay, my brain is so tired of translating or
So
thinking in
true.
another language. So I just need to speak in Spanish and that's it. So we do send an email for some events and reunions at the beginning of the academic year, like 1 month after you arrive. We tend to do that, and they are really really nice. And yeah, I also encourage you to reach out to them because it's really cool. It's really really cool. Now I wanted to ask you, have you guys worked while being in Scotland?
I have. um,
Awesome.
I have two jobs. I am a like both of them are part-time and casual. So for those who are not aware, in the UK or Scotland, like casual work is where you don't have a set number of hours that you have to do every week or every month. So basically you make your own schedule and you work whenever you are free. So it's kind of like a gig based work structure in which you're paid hourly depending on how much you work per month or per event. And I work in the university social media. I'm a content creator. So if you scroll down far enough in the university social media, you might see some of my blogs or some of my I remembered I did this video that's very Latin American, where I'm sure you've seen those like ping pong con whatever
Yeah.
videos. There's one of those that I've done, and I get paid per hour for that. And that, like what I love about that job is that I can manage my own schedules, and I also work staffing events. So there's been like a silent disco in Glasgow and Edinburgh, or like academic conferences, and I sign up to staff those. And I got one of those jobs, the events one, at a job fair at the university, and the other one I applied to by like through the Student Opportunities Hub, which is the job board that the university provides for us. where all of the university jobs will be listed. I will say that being Latin American, it's like a bit hard to adjust to the traditional UK job market, especially because there are like different expectations of what your CV should look like. I remember that like I sent out my CV to so many places, and then I went to the um to this career service at uni, which is a great service that you all should go to if you are looking for work. They said, yeah, I think they're rejecting you because you don't have all of this information that is standard in UK CVs. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I started getting jobs after I changed that. So it is it is a challenge. You need to adjust, but it is possible to work part time. You can work up to 20 hours. If you're a first year student, I would maybe suggest looking for casual work where you can build your own schedules. And for example, you don't have to work during finals week or final season. Or if you're like really stressed with uni, you can always just like not work that week.
Awesome. That is great advice. That is great advice. Because yeah, it is different. So we do have a very good career services at the university, and they can support you through all the journey. Like we have support available like for careers master classes, careers fairs, LinkedIn workshops, interview and application preparation, the part-time job hub, and a lot of a lot of things. So reach out to the student support because they are really really great to this kind of things. Jerry, do you have any work experience while in Scotland?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird experience, but it has been fun. I didn't want to join when I came here, since it's a 1 year program. I thought to myself, I want to fully enjoy Scotland and focus on my studies. After a while, I discovered that the program was actually very demanding, so it occupied most of my time. Now that that it's basically done, and I'm just working on my dissertation and on a full-time job, I I'm working on Fridays as a part-time Spanish-speaking babysitter, and
We love.
yeah, and it's good pay for 3 hours a week.
That's
And
crazy. I love
I
that.
mean, it's I don't say it's a job because I'm not qualified, but it helps me pay for my groceries and for my nights out. But I haven't properly looked for any part-time job. I'm looking for full-time jobs, and it's been a bit hard, as Julia, oh,
It's
Julia,
Julia.
as Julia said. It's UK people have different expectations regarding the CV, and it's another job market, and the job market is tough as well for UK nationals, for people born and raised here. So hopefully we'll get it. But yeah, so far it's been only babysitting.
No, but that's great. That's
It's
great.
so
That's so
great.
It's
cool.
fun.
Plus, like,
It's
University of Glasgow has great employability rates, and it's like a top uni, so I'm sure you'll get a great lawyer job.
I hope so. Hope so.
I'm sure of that as well. Awesome, guys. So now talking a little bit about the campus, like the main university campus, because you both are like in this one over here. That is so so beautiful. Um, what do you think about the campus, and where are the best places like to hang out around campus? Do you have a favorite?
I think I'm not the best person to answer that question. I'm mostly like the business school is a different building on its own. That's a bit separate. I love the main campus. Every time people come visit me, friends from Mexico or family, whenever they come to visit at Glasgow, I always take them to the cloisters and to the main building, because it's something out of Game
It's
of Thrones
Hogwarts.
and
Yeah,
Harry Potter. It blows your
Definitely.
mind. Even if you can see it on the picture, on the background behind Karla's video, it looks way more incredible and shocking than what pictures in Google can show you. It's beautiful. regarding where I pass the most of my time in campus. To be honest, it's the business school, but something I love. I'm not sure. It's not actually part of the campus, but it's right beside the main building. Is Kelvin Grove Park, especially in
You love
summer,
Governor
sunny
Park.
days. You are gonna miss the sun, and you will wanna do picnics outside. In Mexico, when there was when it was always sunny, I never went out for picnics. In here, when you see the sun, you go out for a picnic, no questions asked. And that's my favorite part of the campus. Just
It is
chilling,
so
sitting on the
beautiful.
grass, getting some
Definitely.
drinks, getting some chips, some nibbles, and just enjoying and watching people pass by.
No, it's great. I think like it's especially after the May exams, like I feel like I need to sit in the sun and touch some grass. Um and it's great. I also spend most of my time not in the main building. I only had one class, which was really early in the morning on the main building.
Oops.
Um but the main building is beautiful. I love going there when it's sunny and when it's beautiful. But I will say probably the place where I spend most of my time is the JMS, which is a much more modern, big red building where most of the first year classes are taking place. It's always packed with students, so you will always, always, always find someone you know. It's a great place. There's a student kitchen where I have lunch with my friends. Especially that's great if especially if you live further away from uni and you have a short break between classes, you can just like take your food there, heat it up and eat it. It's very, very, very handy for self-packed lunches. And it's very close to Ashton Lane where you can go grab food. So like I love a JMS for that. If it were not as busy as it always is, it would be even better. But it's
I know.
always super busy because it's great. Other than that, I also love spending time by Kelvin Grove Park. I was lucky to live right across Kelvin Grove Park, so I crossed the park every single day before on my way to uni, and it was beautiful. It was great. It's really really nice during the spring and the summer when it's sunny, when it's warm, when it's like picnic weather. People love doing they love taking these like portable barbecues and just like having a barbecue at the park. To me that's crazy. As like a Latin American, and I'm not sure if it's the same thing in other countries, but here in Peru we love having barbecues in the winter. But it's a summer thing there. It's wild and it's crazy and we love it. But yeah, I would say the JMS is a huge, very popular place, especially because it has like a lot of big lecture halls for
Yes.
all of the big, big classes that you will be having us if you're an undergrad. And what other nice spots are there? There's so many spots. The Fraser building is also like a hidden gem. It's beautiful from the outside. They have a bookstore. I don't go in there so often, mostly because I get lost. I don't get lost, but I lose a lot of time in the bookstore. I love like walking
That's
around
me.
and looking at stationery.
It's a
So if
really
you
good
have
book.
free time and you love looking at stationery where you have like tons of student discounts, Fraser Building is where it's at. It also has like a dining hall where you can like eat or just have a snack from the vending machines, lots of study areas, and that's also where the career service is located, the well-being and psychological support is at, the doctor's office is there, so it's like a
Everything that
general
has
everything
good.
hub. We love it. Also
Yeah, that one
golden.
is that one is really cool. It's like greenish, bluish, and
Green and blue with like tinted like glass, so beautiful.
it's
So
so
modern.
nice. It's so nice. And I love that about like the main area of the University of Glasgow, that you have things like this that are from the 1800s, and they are so beautiful, and you feel like you're in a movie and you fall in love so much. But you have those other buildings like more modern, obviously. And it is a very big campus, so you will find lots of buildings. I do love. I was talking to Jerry about this before we started, that I do love the terrace that they have in the Adam Smith business school is so, so beautiful, and the view is amazing. So yeah, University of Glasgow is really, really beautiful. And as they say, is even more beautiful like once you're there than
Yes.
what Google can show you. So
Yeah.
I can wait for you guys to be there and experience that. Um, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was the cost of living. So I know that this can be very stressful for some of you. Um, but do you guys have any saving money tips for the new students?
Definitely. I think the cost of living is like I think Glasgow is not that expensive of a city.
No.
It's definitely there's like a lot of things that you can do to make your life more affordable. Um, I, for instance, like cook all my meals. I eat out maybe like at a restaurant for like special occasions with my friends, maybe when like at the end of exam season. But there's like a lot of things that you can do. Definitely like planning your shopping, meal planning, um, tracking all of your expenses. I cannot stress this enough, guys. Like that little spreadsheet with all the little numbers is very, very, very important, especially during the first months of your stay there. You like realistically, I may tell you that I spend like around, I don't know, like 100 quid a month in like all of my expenses, like personal expenses, eating out, transport, like everything. That could be the reality for me, but the reality is going to be different for you. And if that, like, if you realize that during the first months you're spending more than you expected to spend, you can then see where you can cut costs. For example, um, every under 22-year-old in Scotland gets free bus travel. So if you were used to taking the subway, maybe you can save the subway money and take the bus. Or instead of shopping at like, I don't know, Marks and Spencer's, you go to like Aldi or Little,
Little.
which are cheaper, and you can buy like meat and like and then freeze it. There's so many things that you can do to make your life more affordable. I think like my pro tip is to track your expenses and see where you can cut like what you need, like separate what you need from like what you want. Because when you do that, then you can allocate like funding for the stuff that you want. For instance, like I spent, I don't know, like 60 quid in like groceries. And then I had like 40 quid that I could spend on energy drinks at the like JMS, or chocolate for study sessions, or just like going out with friends, or more stuff. But I knew that my basic expenses were covered. I think the worst thing that you can do is like not look at your money. And that's a skill that I've had to learn, and that many of you will have to learn when living on your own for the first time. And it's scary, but like after the first 3 months, you will be a master. I promise.
That's a great tip.
Yeah, I would only add, well, no, not add, but basically reinforce like, if you are coming as an undergrad or as a master student, I think this tip is especially for a master student. Like in Mexico City, I didn't have the time to cook for myself, so I basically always ate out. But that was back in Mexico. Now, as a master student, like, Jerry, you have the time. Now you have the time, so I do, and we do, and so cook your meals. It's infinitely way more cheaper than going out,
Yes.
and yeah,
It's
save your
so much
money for
better.
special occasions.
For everyday food and also like for special occasions. I remember that for Valentine's Day, me and all my like girlfriends, we would like everyone would cook something different, and we would do this huge potluck dinner for like Galentine's. And we had so much fun. And we would have
Yeah,
spent so much money if we had gone out to a restaurant to eat so much less food.
yeah,
So it's about being smart. It's about, for example, if you're going out to a club or a pub or a bar, knowing most of the bars will have free entrance until like say 10:30 p.m. So get there early. Don't show up late. there's always workarounds that you can do if money is tight.
Totally agree. And my next question, we already talked about a little bit of the culture shock. Do you remember anything that you actually said like, "Oh my God, this is so different. This is so weird." Like any experience where you said, "Okay, yes, I'm not in Mexico or in Peru."
Yeah, but for me, in my case, it wasn't really regarding the UK or Glasgow itself, but like, as many of you will know, for example, you are not gonna be the only foreigner in your classroom. There's gonna be probably much more foreigners along with you. So one of the things I noticed was, for example, in my cohort, where my classroom is, we have a lot of Indian classmates, Indonesians, Thai, Hong Kong, Singapore, China, etc. Right? So initially, wrongly on my part, I used to think that, well, guys, I mean, yes, I'm Mexican, and you're Indian, Chinese, and Thai, and Bolivian, Peruvian, whatever. Like, we're all from all these different nationalities. But at the end of the day, we all of us listen to Taylor Swift, right? We've all watched, I don't know, Toy Story. Like, at the end of the day, I thought that there was like this pervasive Western culture that everyone was aware of, like listening to Taylor Swift or watching Toy Story, or I don't know, Spider-Man. And it blew my mind that it's not that way. There are some people out there that don't know, have never listened to Taylor Swift, or never watched Friends, the TV show, or Toy Story. So for
Are you
good or
sure that's
worse,
Spider-Man now?
yeah, yeah. So for good
Because
or
they're
worse,
recording it.
that was like a culture shock that like, wow, like, there really is another world. And sometimes, especially
Yes.
my Indian classmates, they talk to me about Bollywood films. And I mean, I've heard about Bollywood, but I to be honest, I've never watched a
Right.
Bollywood film. And I even felt like, uh, wow, I may be missing something huge that's going on in this part of the world, that it's so famous, that may be as shocking for them as for me it was shocking that they haven't watched Toy Story, for example. That was a big culture shock, and it made me, well, yeah, like, much more humble in my, I don't know, knowledge limitations of the world, and yeah, being more open-minded.
That's so nice. I think my biggest culture shocks when moving to the UK were just a lot of like the infrastructural things. It's still hard for me to understand, for instance, why the bathroom light switch is on the outside,
Yes.
not on the inside. I think
That is so
that's
weird.
so weird, right?
Yes.
That's weird. Also, like, and I imagine it's the same for most Latin American countries. We have huge, like, tropical fruits and huge vegetables. When I first got to Scotland, I remember I was going shopping at Tesco with my mom, and I said, "Oh my God, how cute. They've got baby carrots." And my dad told me, "No, Julia, those are like
Those are the carrots.
regular." And they were like this big. Um, so there are a lot of like small things that will kind of like shake the ground on you and make you like remember that you're not in a place where you understand everything. But at the end of the day, it's very easy to fit in, and there will be lots of people helping you understand where you are and how to move in this like new space. Like I Most of you, not all of you, will have an advisor of studies. Your advisor of studies will help you with academic matters, but will also explain, hey, like my advisor of studies told me, by the way, the housing market, if you're looking to move out of student accommodations, is usually really hot in the next few months. So start looking then. And that really helped me. So there will be like a lot of people explaining, because you will need a lot of explaining, everyone will. Um, But at the end of the day, I don't think that the cultural shocks are as big as I was expecting them to be. Just as Jerry said, I think like there's a lot of like culture shocks with people that are also not from the UK because
Yes.
you kind of know what to expect when going to the UK. You've heard about the UK, you've heard about Scotland, you've applied to university, you're
Exactly.
going here, you already know the drill. But you will be encountering people from like India, China, Indonesia, people from Hong Kong who you've never like you don't know a lot of the things that um are important to their cultures, and it's great to be open-minded and like share that aspect of their cultures and open yourself to that. I remember I made great friends from Indonesia. I'd never had Indonesian food, guys. It's the best, right?
It's so
Like
good.
it's really good. It's not as good as Peruvian food, but it's so good, and I would have never tried it if I hadn't opened myself up to, like, trying new foods, trying new things, and meeting new people, and being, like, open-minded. So, just go there with an open mind, and you will be fine.
I totally agree. Exactly. Just go there with an open mind. And about Spider-Man, just of a fun fact, they are filming
Nice.
Spider-Man right
Yes,
now in
I know.
Glasgow. So I'm so jealous and I'm getting a lot of FOMO because I want to
Me
be there.
too.
I'm a huge Spider-Man fan.
All of my friends are
So,
seeing Spider-Man swinging on
ah,
those Glasgow streets.
so yeah, Glasgow is very popular for filming because we also had the Batman with Robert Pattinson that was filmed in Glasgow as well. So lots of productions that are supposed to be taking place in New York. It is not New York, it is Glasgow because it's easier and cheaper, I guess, for them to
Yeah.
film in Glasgow than in New York. So if you're lucky, you will have the chance to see this huge Hollywood productions around the city.
You definitely, definitely will. I remember Kelvin Way, which is the street that goes right past Kelvin Grove Park, got closed off at least 3 times during, like, my time at uni during my first year because they were filming movies and shows in Kelvin Grove Park, just so you
Yeah,
know
it
how
is so
popular
cool.
it is. They, like, film shows, movies, um, ads, everything.
Yeah, yeah, it is definitely really cool. Well, I do love the movie filming and music and all that stuff. So, yeah, it is really really cool. And we are running out of time, guys. So, if you have any questions, now is the time to put them in the chat in case you haven't like get the answers that you were looking for. Um Now, do you have any top tips for students joining us in September, like your ultimate tip?
Okay, this may sound silly, but uh, to everything, like when you are meeting friends or they ask you to join a club, always say yes. Never say no. Push it. Like, don't say no to everything. Just go and enjoy the highlands, meet new people, meet
Yes.
different cultures and people from all sorts of backgrounds, nationalities, religions. I think the true melting pot is Glasgow and not New York or London. And one very clear example is, I don't know, for example, in New York, you get, oh, Mexican food, and oh, that's an Italian restaurant, and oh, you have sushi. But in Glasgow, you are walking down city center and you have, I don't know, Karla's Restaurante, and you have haggis and chips, fish and chips, tacos, pizzas, kebabs.
Yes.
You have all sorts of
It's
food,
so
and
wild.
just enjoy the city, bike through all the city, go to as many pubs as you can, make as many friends as you can, go to the highlands as much as you can. It's only an hour drive away or an hour by train. So yeah, just enjoy that Scottish pride. I don't know how to say it. Disfrútenlo. Disfruten el país.
Please,
Es un país
please.
increíble.
I
Glasgow,
totally agree.
yes.
Any top tip that you will want to share,
Any top
Julia?
tip? Okay. I will say I come from Lima, which, if you've ever been here, it's located in a tropical desert, so it never rains. And one of the best things I think I did before moving to Glasgow was packing in a pair of hiking boots. And even if you don't like hiking, I hate hiking. Hiking is huge where I'm from. I hate it. Even if you hate hiking, you should get yourself a pair of waterproof sneakers or like a pair of hiking boots, which are usually waterproof. Why? Because you will be like walking through water, and the like Glasgow is full of like small hills. So you will need sturdy footwear. Or else, like if you go out with, say, like leather shoes, they will last like 3 days.
Agree.
Usually, like normal sneakers or like basic white ones are also like a staple. But if you don't want to ruin your shoes super quickly, get yourself a pair of like hiking boots to just like walk to uni, and then just wear your fancy shoes for like fancy stuff.
That's a great tip. I learned the hard way the first time that I was there, that I was not wearing the proper shoes. I was just wearing Converse, and I was wet and cold the whole time. So this second time, I brought some waterproof, appropriate shoes, and they made all the difference. So that is a great advice. Um, I have here a question from Luis. Then he's asking how to deal with homesick during the first couple of weeks. Did you experience that, or were you too excited to be homesick? What was your experience like?
I think, like, yes, you're definitely gonna be homesick the first few weeks. When you first get there, you are missing a lot of the things that you are used to have. You're missing your local food, you're missing your parents if you used to live with them. But I think in the end of the day, you will be like so saturated with activities that that feeling will be overshadowed by the ocean of like fun things that you will have to do, and you will be so excited to be there. I think like the wave of homesickness like does sink in a little bit more during like finals week or revision or like study leave, where there's like nothing really like going on. um and during those times, it is very important to like find your people and create a sense of community, whether that is creating community with the people in your residence halls. If you are a person of faith, finding your local place of worship. I, for instance, joined the university, like Glasgow University Catholic Association, and they are like my like family away from family. Whenever I'm like in Glasgow, and I love it, and we do dinners, and they make me feel much more at home, since like being Catholic is a huge thing in Peru. Um, so there are you will be homesick, um, but also there's a lot of ways to combat that. And I pro tip, when I first moved here, like I did not find a lot of ingredients that I needed to make my local food, but there are a lot of substitutes that you can use. So if you're able to take a moment to look at the substitutes that you can use to make your local food, and you will feel much, much, much less homesick. I remember making ají de gallina, which is a typical dish here, or causa de mariscos here, and it was like so 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 nice to have a taste from home, and then I could share it with other people, which was really nice.
Thank you so much, Julia. And thank you, Jerry, because I know that you're replying in the chat. So that is really nice. Thank you so much. Um we about the bed sheets and everything, the university even make like trips to stores if you want to join, or
Yeah,
just
that's true.
in
And to IKEA.
Tesco. Yeah, they take you to IKEA in your first week if you want to join that trip, or there are plenty of options, so don't worry about that. I also see here some questions about the accent. I'm not gonna lie, the accent at first is challenging. It is like, okay, what's happening? But you get used to it, and they are very used to being like to repeating
Yes.
things because their accent is difficult even from people from the UK. Like even to English people, it is a bit complicated. Glasgow in particular. So they are very used to people like asking like, "Oh, I'm sorry, can you repeat that?" And they don't get mad or anything like that. They are super used to that. So don't be afraid, and you will be okay because you will get used to it. So it's just the
Uh,
first few days and that's it.
I always tell them, to be honest, even to this day, like, I'm sorry, brother, I didn't get a word of that. I struggle with the accent. Can you repeat? And they just laugh and like, yeah, sure, and like, no worries.
Yeah. I think that at first the Glasgow accent is very challenging, especially when you just get there. Just like it is difficult if you're like a native Spanish speaker and you travel to somewhere where they have a very thick accent in Spanish, it will be a bit hard to understand at first, but after like
Yes.
give it a week. A week and you will be so fluent. It's like I will say Glasgow is amongst the places in Scotland with a lighter accent. If you go north to Aberdeen, it's much worse. Or like other areas in Scotland. Glasgow is so international that the accent is very mild once you get used to it.
Yeah, once you get used to it. No, that's true. That's true. You will be okay. Don't worry. And if you want to watch some Luis Capaldi interviews so you can train your ears because he has a
Yeah,
very, very strong accent.
look up in YouTube like Glaswegian accent, and you'll get an idea.
Yeah. But you will be fine, guys. You will get used to it. So I don't want to steal more of your afternoons, midnights for Jerry. So I just want to thank you, everyone, so, so much for joining, for sharing a little bit of your afternoons. And I want to thank you so, so much, Julia y Gerardo. Muchísimas gracias a los dos por acompañarnos, por responder a todas nuestras preguntas, que fueron un montón, por ayudarme con el chat también, por conectarse a medianoche en tu caso, Jerry. Muchísimas gracias, de verdad. Creo que estas sesiones hacen mucha diferencia para que todos los que van ahorita a comenzar su aventura en Glasgow se sientan un poquito menos abrumados escuchándolos de ustedes que ya pasaron por eso. Entonces, pues muchísimas gracias a los dos por aceptar hacer esta sesión y pues nada, y muchísimas gracias a todos los estudiantes. Thank you, everyone, in case someone is from Brazil, and I'm so sorry I did that in Spanish. But we understand each other. It's very similar. It's just a bit different, but we get it. So thank you so so much, everyone, for joining. If you have any questions about your offers or you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always happy to help. And thank you again to Julia and Thierry. I hope to see you
Oh,
in another one of